I know you've missed us. We're back inside. We had a nice cold Halloween, little trick-or-treating last week. But now, we're back. It's Sunday at 7:30. Hopefully you get your clocks all worked out, because a couple times I was like, oh my God, it's 8:30, we're late. No, it's 7:30. And it is Season 3, Episode 45. And we've got a little Bond. James Bond, to be exact. Cocktail for you tonight. Why? I don't know. I'm really getting fired up for next week because that's the telethon. 24 hours of cocktails. Folks, I gotta tell you, man, I've been cracking on just one. I don't know how we're gonna do 50, but we're gonna do it. But now it's quarantine cocktail time. Blue Monkey Quarantine, the only monkey business. Let's get started so I can teach you all about this new and exciting Bond Martini that you didn't even know existed. Here we are, folks. Quarantine time. Blue Monkey. Well, we're here. Now, hold on. And we're good. Here we are, folks. Tested out some new microphones. So hopefully everybody will say, wow, you sound so clear. You sound so
good. Here we are,
fresh.
Folks.
Well, it sounds good because I just heard it. But anyway, folks, it is Season 3, Episode 45, and we're doing the Bond Martini. Now, a lot of people think the martini's the martini, and it's Bond, and it's shaken, not stirred, and we've talked about that. But here's the thing. There is actually a Bond Martini. And a lot of people call it the Bond Martini. It's actually called the Vesper. And the Vesper, a.k.a. Bond Martini, well, let's give credit. Got to go back to 1953. 1953, Ian Fleming. Wait, Paul, you mean Ian Fleming who wrote Bond books? Yeah. So, Casino Royale, 1953. The first Bond novel was called Casino Royale. If you kind of don't remember the gist of that one, think Russian spy. He was our bad guy. His name was French, though, and Lashir. And anyway, it was kind of all this whole Baccarat. Bond had to beat him and whatever. Go watch it. It's fantastic. But in that novel, that very first Bond novel, Ian Fleming actually gave us the Vesper cocktail. Yeah, so Bond delivers in the movie and lays out exactly how to make this cocktail. And you'll learn gin, vodka, and then he tells him to use Keen Lillet. We'll talk about that in a second. And that's where and of course the famous line, shaken, not stirred. But where did the name come from in the novel? So here's the fun part. If you go back and you watch it, Bond falls for this woman. Yeah, we already know that, Paul. Yeah, but the woman he falls for during the book, whatever you want to do, read, watch, she asks Bond to name a drink for her. So he names his martini after her. Her name in the novel, Vesper Lynn. There you go, folks. That's the story. The Vesper Lynn, it is truly a cocktail from a book. No fancy bartenders, no prohibition history, anything like that. Ian Fleming made it up in 1953. Now, what's different about it? Well, first of all, it is 3 parts gin, 1 part vodka, and also 1 part, actually half a part, of Keen Lillet. Now, let me give you a little history on all of this. You got to go back to 1887, and that's when the Lillet brothers, and again, I also apologize. I just used this. This is really why I wanted to do this drink. I talked about Lillet last week, and I was convinced it was Lillet. It is one of the most common mispronounced alcohol liquors out there, and I've done it. I do it with everything. So this is not a shock or surprise to me or to any of you, but it is actually Lillet, and the Lillet brothers created this in 1887, and originally it was called Kin Lillet. And the kin actually stood for quinquina, and quinquina is really how that's the term for quinine, and that is what they had added to this aromatized wine was quinine, and that's what made it. Take a step back. First of all, I'm going to do some more clarification. Historically, I've talked to you about vermouth. Pause. Hold on. Such as this red vermouth, sweet vermouth. And I've always told you that it was a fortified wine. That is true. I've also said one day I'll clear this all up, because technically vermouth is more than a fortified wine. It is an aromatized wine. What's the difference between an aromatized wine and a fortified wine? Well, one big word. No, that's not it. So a fortified, hold, pause. You're, don't touch that stuff. Hold, pause, people.
I didn't touch anything.
Cat did. All right, hopefully we're still on.
We are.
We're still alive. So, fortified versus aromatized wine. Fortified wine is when they take a wine and then they add some spirit, alcohol, to it to change flavor profile, make it last. And that is technically vermouth. However, a deeper is if you have an aromatized wine, it is actually not only adding a spirit, such as a brandy or any sort of alcohol, you also add a flavoring. Vermouth technically is an aromatized wine. It's flavored with wormwood, of all things, originally, and that is why vermouth. So vermouth, the word comes from Wermut, which is a German word for wormwood. Paul, seriously, are you almost done? I am almost done. So, Kin Lillet is actually originally, that's what it was named, because they added quinine. And they still do, but they cut it back. And this is back in the time when quinine was very healthy. It was a very popular thing to add to every drink, tonic, because of, Shelby, I asked this earlier. Malaria, thank you. Saving lives, malaria. Anyway, so they ultimately rebranded. Now it's just Lillet Blanc. They also have a Rouge, and they also have a blush. Paul, for God's sakes, are you going to make a drink? I'm going to make a drink. I need a drink. So, first of all, add a little ice to your... Now, this is also, if you go back to Casino Royale, James Bond actually prefers it to be served in a coupe, champagne coupe glass, not a martini glass. So we're going to pay honor and do that tonight. And then we're also going to shake, not stir, just the way Bond wanted it. So we're coming in with 3 parts gin. So 3 ounces, which I'm going to make 2, 1 for me, 1 for Shelby. So we're just going to go straight up here with, there's 1, and there's the rest of mine plus half of Shelby's, and then 1 more for Shelby. There is 6 ounces of gin. We're going with the Genever, which is a little sweeter gin, just for fun, because honestly, we're out of gin right now, and this is what we have. Then we're coming in with our vodka. So it'll be 1 ounce, so we'll call it 2 total, 1 for me and 1 for Shelby. Go with some nice Mischief vodka from Washington.
Seattle.
And then lastly, our Lillet. 1 ounce total. Again, so this really is a bit of a type of a martini, because what we're doing is we're subbing out some of our things. I'll just finish the drink. I'm finishing it. Lastly, emergency. Emergency! I believe emergency has ties back to malaria too. I believe this is what replaced quinine. We should come up with our own aromatized wine. We'll take a white wine. No, an orange wine. right?
Mm-hmm.
And then some vodka, an emergency. Emergency, about to be famous for a new fortified amortized wine. And a little sprinkle of that, boom, then coming in. So this debate over shaken versus stirred, somewhat clear. The reason people say not to shake is because you'll bruise the gin, you'll dilute it, whatever. But this is Bond's preferred way. And there were studies, we've done this, talked about it before, where people couldn't tell the difference. And actually, some people in taste tests found that the shaken actually doesn't taste more diluted, but actually tastes stronger. So it's whatever you make of it, folks. But for now, we come in, we're going to strain that into our lovely champagne coupe glasses. Lovely. And then a little lemon, right? This was Bond's last direction on how to serve. So, thanks, James. You've done well. Interestingly enough, this weekend, had one of my first dirty gin martinis.
Thanks, Mama.
Farmer, thank you. It was delicious, so we learned from the best. Matter of fact, also shout out to Marmer because the Blue Monkey t-shirt, literally a Blue Monkey t-shirt, gift from Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. And cheers to all. Let's see if this bad boy is delicious, as I think it's going to be. Oh, yes. So here's what's interesting about it. Totally gin up front, but that Lillet, it's a bit bitter. So you're gonna like this because it almost gives a bit of a briny, kind of a bitter flavor, which I like. So anyway, there it is, folks. Cheers to all, and to all good night. But we're not done. A couple things. One, I have to tell you the rest of this story. Talk about truth and fiction. So you may not know this. And this is, you may know this, but it's not about Lillet, even though we did some Q&A today. All right, I tried. Ian Fleming. Actually, he wrote a total of 12 Bond novels. His background, he was actually a naval, part of the naval intelligence, and had served and done it during World War II. And during that specific time frame, he actually fell. The rumor is he had an affair with a spy. She went by the name Christina Scarbeck. She also went by the name of Christy Gainville, and also, most famously, she went by the name Vesper. And people believe that the Vesper cocktail was a nod to her, of somebody he knew in his life that he had met. So, way to do it, Ian. Solid stuff. Anyway, cheers to everybody. Also, a special shout out to my one of my soccer teams I play with, HCC. We were in Louisville, played in the Bourbon Cup, 50 and over. If you want to imagine what that looks like, we have walkers, and we have, instead of tennis balls, we put cleats on the bottom of the walkers, and we shuffle around. No, we play pretty heavy-duty soccer. And we made it to the championship game this weekend. 2-1 loss, but we had fun along the way. Cheers to all of you. Great trip. Cheers to everybody out there. And Shelby, is it, what?
You go ahead.
Oh, say cheers to Shelby, one of a few of our fan club that were there yelling us on. And I leave you with this. Next weekend, Coat Drive Telethon. It's a cocktail-a-thon. I don't know, just made that up. I've heard that. But, folks, we are ready. We are ready to go. We have literally, out of 50 cocktails that we put out there for you to help donate, you can purchase. We have one left. So if anybody wants to do a cocktail, you better jump on. Go to coatdrive.org, or you can go to the bluemonkeyquarantina.com. coatdrive.org or bluemonkeyquarantina.com. And starting next Saturday, 7 p.m., we start. And then we roll for 24 hours straight or until I fall over dead. I think we'll just go 24 hours, though.
I would prefer that, please.
We're going to go with that. So, but be here, folks. If I can ask one last favor, 2 favors. 1, stop by. Visit us while we're doing the show. Literally, we'll be on all night. Just come over. We got people here. We got food. We got everything. It's going to be a great night. But more so, here's my big ask. When we start, share the video. We're going to be live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Share it. Try to get people. Make it viral. I would love to be viral. A rash, whatever's involved with that, I'm ready to go.
I would like some say in that not happening.
Shelby is saying no to the rash and me viral.
I would like you to be at least virtually
viral.
There you go.
Folks, cheers. We're out. Oh, let me put this up in here. This is pretty one.
That is pretty.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're out. Love you. See you next week. Telethon. We'll be ready.